When it comes to games that I enjoy enough to replay on a semi-regular basis, RimWorld is at the top of that very small list. If you don't know, RimWorld is a sci-fi colony simulator. You start with a scenario, pick a location on a generated map, and have to manage your colonists, or pawns as the game calls them. The game throws random events at you depending on what storyteller you picked, and you basically just have to deal with the chaos of whatever happens. You have to manage all the pawns, make sure they don't go insane, feed them, house them, organize their defenses. It's a whole myriad of systems linked together to form a very cohesive and detailed experience. A lot of times it's extremely chaotic, but that's the fun part. Plus, it has a huge modding community to transform the game into almost whatever you like. I run like 40 or 50 mods at a time when I play, probably more. It is an actual addiction. Each and every time I get sucked into it, I'll play for hours, and you can be damn sure that I play with the mental brakes off. I can't be having my colonists throwing a tantrum while the entire base is on fire and there are giant bugs eating everybody alive. My distaste for the mood system is easily solved because I can turn off the mental brakes with dev mode. This leads me to my actual point. You see, I play RimWorld in a very specific way, not necessarily because it's easier, but because it lets me experiment and stress test large colonies. I start the game on easy mode, and I have a selection of mods that help streamline the beginning so it doesn't take very long at all. Then, once I have enough colonists, I go into the custom difficulty settings and crank the threat scale to maximum. If you are unaware, you can be raided by various factions in the game, by robots, by wild animals, by eldritch horrors, and by giant bugs. There's no shortage of things trying to destroy your colony. The threat scale tells the game how large to make these raids. For reference, the highest vanilla difficulty uses a threat scale of 220%. I put it at the highest value it'll go, which is 500%. This means that any calculations it does to determine the size of raids will be multiplied by 5. When you're in end-game colonies, this can create so many enemies at once that the game slows to a 10 frames per second crawl, and it has to take 20 seconds to load them all in. It's a complete shit show, and I love it. By the time I reach this point in the game, I have all the armor and weapons I want, I have at least a dozen colonists, and I have all the resources and technology I need to rebuild if necessary. Half of my fun is expanding the base into a mega compound, and the other half is stress testing all the overlapping systems in the game. With the help of mods, I can actually force raids to spawn. What's better than a robot invasion? How about 10 robot invasions at once? How about I call every single faction in the game and force a raid from them all at the same time? I actually did this once. My game slowed down so much that it took 2 real-life hours to get through the whole fighting part. And then it took another 5 hours for me to clean it all up, and for the game to return to something closer to normal. It was kind of like a very eccentric PowerPoint presentation for a while. Now this is a screenshot of what part of the map looked like, just to give you an idea of how horrible it was for my computer. There's a very simple reason I enjoy the insanity that this game offers. This is the peak of structured chaos. It is a video game, so it has a number of systems that are programmed to work in certain ways. However, these systems are open-ended enough to create an overlapping mess of everything that can and does go wrong. It's messy by design. You may be wondering, if all I want is a messy, chaotic game, why RimWorld? Why not some other disaster game? Well, you see, many other games are messy on accident, or they are limited in how I can alter the mess myself. With RimWorld, I can change basically anything I want about the game. I can go into the base code right now and change anything I don't like if I really wanted to. It's a very moddable game, which makes it easy for me to customize. This is the part where I explain why I'm talking about this to begin with. I play games to my liking. When I was a kid, I used Cheat Engine on Mountain Blade. I used modded clients for both Minecraft and Terraria. I have used many trainers and done many small modifications to game code just to fit what I want to do. If the game doesn't work in a way that I can enjoy, and or it doesn't let me change things I don't like, then I just stop playing. This is why I don't play strictly multiplayer games. It would be a bit silly of me to say that I've never wasted time on games, because I have. I played Genshin Impact for the better part of 2 years, and that game is nothing but a waste of time with some cool mechanics. So I have wasted quite a lot of time. But in recent years, I've been a lot more picky about the games I spend time on and how I play them. The last time I played Minecraft, I enchanted my tools via command, because I was not about to spend 5 hours digging up resources when all I wanted to do was collect stuff and build random things I'd never use. I had my priorities, and I was going to follow them. When I think about it, it's actually pretty rare for me to play games the intended way. I'm prone to breaking them even when I do play the intended way, honestly. Most of the time I don't even mean to. Sometimes I'll just try something and it'll turn out to be a glitch or a weird meta. I've probably played too many games. Anyway, my point is that I play games the way I want to, because a game is nothing but a framework to explore. RimWorld allows me to poke and prod everything in the game however I want to, which is why it's one of those games I have a deep appreciation for. Developers can't tell me how to play their game, no matter how hard they try. And you shouldn't let them tell you how to play either. If you can't play the game in a way you enjoy, why play at all?